And welcome to ESPN's College Football Primetime presented by Applebee's. The home of the Aggies, Kyle Field, is sold out. And the Longhorns have made the journey 100 miles from Austin, ranked number 3 in the BCS, 2 wins away from playing for a BCS championship. But their old rivals stand in the way tonight, and Aggie spirit very much in evidence here in Kyle Field. So, happy Thanksgiving for our entire Thursday night team to you folks. Chris Fowler, Craig James, Jesse Palmer, Aaron Andrews will join us. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your loved ones. Hope you're ready for some college football now, because the weekend kicks off right here. And the top 3 teams, Florida, Bama, and Texas, have similar hurdles. In-state rivals who would love to be spoilers, similar records, and something else in common. They all have potent offenses, but very porous defenses. If you look at the stats and the matchups here tonight, guys, it all points to a big Texas victory. But the game's not played on paper, played on grass.
Glad you pointed that out.
Station, Aggie land, and weird things have happened in these old rivalry games.
I tell you what happens here. The state of Texas, everybody knows high school football, Pee-wee football is such a big deal. Texas A&M, Thanksgiving Day, it's a big deal to moms and dads and grandparents. Yep. So these grandparents have been talking to their grandkids, son, it's a big game. You got to get up and go. Well, if you're the Texas Longhorns, you better hope one guy gets up and goes. That's Colt Mccoy. You know, they're coming in here. They are the better team, Chris. As you mentioned, statistically, they're supposed to win the game. Colt is hot right now, Jesse. He's a good quarterback doing his job. He can't stress and press. Come in here and play and do what your team's been doing leading up to this big football game.
But guys, we know these in-state rivalry games are never guaranteed things. And for Texas A&M to have a chance tonight, they have to generate explosive plays on offense. And that starts with quarterback Jarrod Johnson. Jarrod Johnson may be one of the best Big 12 quarterbacks you never really hear about. He's thrown more touchdown passes and fewer interceptions than Colt Mccoy. He's a dynamic player. He can get on the perimeter, hurt you with his legs, extend and create plays. They're going to need him to be big here tonight, because this Texas defense is very difficult to march the football down the field and score touchdowns against. So for Texas A&M, if they want to hope to win tonight and make this 3 of the last 4 against their in-state rivals, Jarrod Johnson has to be huge.
Will he have to win a shootout? Can the Aggies slow down this Texas offense? They've got a bowl bid secured. They can improve their standing and spoil the Longhorns' dreams tonight here in College Station. Kickoff coming up. The underdog Aggies storm the field, not through a column of members of the Corps waving their 12th man towels. Always an emotional scene for the Aggies at home against their arch rivals from Texas. The Longhorns, which a lot more to play for, you'd have to feel, but pride, bragging rights, there's plenty to play for on the Aggie side as well. Over the years, Texas has dominated, but as we said a few minutes ago, 2 of the last 3 have gone to Texas A&M. They went up to Austin in 2006 and spoiled Senior Day. The only time Mack Brown has lost on Senior Day. Stephen McGee, touchdown run, a hard-fought 12-7 victory. Colt McCoy knocked around, picked up a few times, and knocked out of the game. As a freshman, Franchione still unable to hold on to his job despite the big win. Then in 07, the Aggies in a shootout. Now fake field goal. T.J. Sanders touchdown run. They built a big lead. McCoy could not bring the team back. Picked off. Lost a couple of fumbles. It was horns down right here at Kyle Field, 38-30. Now, a year ago, Texas got revenge. A big 40-point beatdown, the biggest margin in 110 years. But Mack Brown knows the challenge is big tonight, and he's with Aaron Andrews.
Thanks, Chris. Mack, first of all, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Big 12 championship next week. Everybody's already speculating, who are you going to play in the national championship? So, Mack, what have you told your team about focusing on tonight?
Well, first, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, Aaron. What a wonderful day. We've told them that this game's been played for 116 years, and it matters to everybody in the state of Texas, and everybody in the country that likes college football is watching it tonight. And you're 11-0, so why not have some fun and play?
Why is it so difficult to play here at Kyle Field, Mack?
Why is it what?
So difficult to play here at Kyle Field.
Well, I think anytime you go on the road and there's a great fan base, a lot of emotion, it makes it difficult to play.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Chris.
Aaron, you had to repeat the question. That says a lot why it's so tough to play right here. The 12th man making noise, and Mike Sherman hoping his team can feed off all that emotion. 6-5 in his second year, the former Green Bay Packer head coach. Texas won the toss and deferred, so A&M will get the ball to start this game. Texas, some small tweaks to the uniform tonight. Nike Pro Combat unis. Mack Brown wouldn't let him go crazy. Just a couple of little touches to honor some of the past championship teams. The number above the Longhorn is something new for tonight. Ryan Swope and Bradley Stevens. Back deep. Here's Justin Tucker to boot it away. It is Swope. A little crease, and he barreled out near the 30-yard line. So we'll see Jarrod Johnson, as he mentioned, hasn't thrown an interception in any of the 6 home games and 17 touchdown passes. He's been very sharp here at Kyle Field.
And I think the fact you go back into the season where he went 225 times before he threw an interception, that's a Big 12 record. So he's not prone to making a lot of mistakes.
Like Sherman said, he's one of the most coachable quarterbacks he's ever coached. He's going to have to apply all that coaching here tonight.
A handoff on the first play, and hammering ahead for a very short gain is Christian Michael, the true freshman. Impact players for A&M, Uzoma Wachiku.
We talked about this offense needs explosive plays. Easy Wachiku. He's averaging 19 yards per catch. He's the big, deep play threat.
Well, this guy here has a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. You got to have big plays. He's got the ability to do it.
And Von Miller, the junior, pass rushing defensive end, will be in McCoy's face, he hopes, all night. On second down, Johnson swings it out, but an immediate hit on the far side of Swope by Earl Thomas. Finalist for the Thorpe Award, combining with Aaron Williams.
I think one of the things that stands out to me about this Texas team, when you watch them on defense, boy, oh boy, are they fast.
They just don't give you, they make up the room when you talk about playing in space. They limit the amount of space that you can play in.
Will Muschamp's defense, #1 in the country on opponents' third down plays, only convert 26%. Johnson, well protected, fires down the sideline and has a man wide open. Jeff Fuller. Hello. Yards. It was Fuller who broke a bone in his leg and missed 4.5 games this season, but is now, as you can tell, 100%. He beat Chucky Brown. And that'll keep this crowd in it. That'll keep it loud for the Texas offense. As Randy Bullock tacks on the extra point.
You talk about this explosive Aggie offense, 88 plays of over 20 yards, 74 of those coming from freshmen and sophomores. This is one of them. So off the corner, look what happens, Jesse. There's the blitz that comes from the top. They look at the guy. They don't go back. It's not calculated well in the secondary, and it's a broken play.
It's a coverage bust. You saw Shocky Brown look back at Earl Thomas. He thought he had safety help over top. Strong safety Blake Gideon came on pressure. A&M was able to pick it up, and that was just pitch and catch for Jarrod Johnson.
You can tell the arm strength. He can make plays with his leg. This is a very talented quarterback that's a big part of Mike Sherman's rebuilding efforts. Wow. A big haymaker from the Aggies against the big favorites here tonight.
We talked about how good that third down defense was of Will Muschamp in Texas. Third and long, not only do you convert, but you take it to the house.
You know what, that old saying, you know, you live and die by a blitz. And when you do that and you mess things up in the secondary, you pay the price.
So McCoy will get the football for the first time, down by 7 as Malcolm Williams and Jordan Shipley are back deep. This is Shipley, and he's hammered short of the 20. Kenny Brown down on the coverage. And here comes Colt Mccoy, all-time leader, wins for a starting quarterback in Division 1A, but again, that 1-2 record against A&M, and he's taken his lumps. He's had his turnovers against these guys.
Well, in the last 5 games, Colt Mccoy is playing the best football of his life. He's completed 77% of his passes during that stretch.
This is his third 3,000-yard season. Obvious Heisman contender, but a first down throw. He finds Shipley, but a very short gain. Jordan Pugh, leader of that secondary on the tackle.
Jordan Shipley is the first Politnikoff finalist here at Texas. He's already set a single-season record for most receiving yards this year.
And Trey Newton is healthy. They've got a stable of backs back there, producing 153 a game on the ground.
We've seen Thomas, who has 7 interceptions on the year. So a 4-yard gain on first down. McCoy takes off. Has a crease. And Colt McCoy slides safely in at the 38-yard line. Hasn't been that active as a runner this season, but we'll see him take off tonight.
You know what happens? Watch over here on the backside here. Watch what happens when Colt McCoy gets pressed out of the pocket. Miller runs right around, right? So you got to have somebody accounting for McCoy.
And offensive coordinator Greg Davis told us how valuable it was to have a quarterback that could move the chains once or twice a game with his feet.
Picked up 14. Aggies show blitz. They pick it up. McCoy fires far side, incomplete at midfield. It's Malcolm Williams. Got up to a slow start this season, but he's come on quickly and been an impact player. And Texas goes, hurry up. McCoy took a shot there. After the throw, no flag. And that was very late. Trey Newton finds a crease. We'll try to get as many hits on McCoy tonight.
Chris,
they wouldn't mind drawing a flag, I don't think,
Chris,
in the process.
I know you've been here. Jesse, do you get the feel for why it's hard to play at Kyle Field?
No question. I walked on the field yesterday, Craig, just during the daytime. It's imposing when you stand on that field when it's empty. Imagine what's going through Colt McCoy's mind right now.
He's moving toward that giant end zone. Again, McCoy takes off on second down. Headed for the sidelines and the first down marker. Talked about loss a couple of years ago here. This was actually 2006. Knocked around late, knocked out of the game. He had a tough day. His younger brother, Case McCoy, watching. Very upset. Caught on camera that day. So McCoy's second run produces a first down at the Aggie 40. Play action. Well covered on the sidelines and broken up over there. Justin McQueen, the backup corner, knocked it away. Williams, the intended receiver.
Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator here, is outstanding about mixing things up. Jesse, the last play was a design quarterback run. You get the slip on the field. He's just dialing up different numbers there.
Say what, this A&M secondary has their work cut out for him tonight. There's not one player in that secondary that can lock one of the Texas wide receivers down. They're going to play big zones. They have to be communicating so they don't give up any big plays.
Now they're real thin at corner, aren't they? Aggies show pressure up the middle. Drop off. Here's a screen. And they swarm behind the line. Kirkendall dropped for a loss.
You know what? When you talk about getting hats to it, watch inside and watch once these guys figure out where the screen's going, Jesse, how many helmets get to the ball.
And it's the right play call for Texas. They anticipated the blitz, so they throw the quick screen, but great pursuit and great speed by Eddie Brown. Make that tackle.
Boy, is it loud on 3rd and 11. Pressure picked up. Completion, but well short of the marker. Terrence Frederick. Him up to stick Shipley. 4th down.
Well, they say Joe Kynes, the D coordinator, says Frederick has the nerves of a corner. He doesn't mind getting out there, and he throws his body. He misses. It's a big play.
And that's a great job by the secondary there. They're just reading that pattern and reacting to it. And right there, Frederick sees Shipley go to the flat. He reacts right away. Great instincts to make that tackle, force a punt.
So the Horns march 44 yards in their opening possession, and now Justin Tucker will try to pin the Aggies deep. It's a fake. And on the option, Tucker, the punter's got it. Loses the ball, doesn't get the first down. Trent Hunter wasn't fooled, and the gamble doesn't work. They were aware this is the part of the field you might see a fake. Nobody in maroon fooled. Aggies are hitting tonight, and they're leading 7-0. Cheese it real. When the Aggies score, you get to kiss your date. Already some smooching going on here.
Oh, my goodness.
As the Aggies threw a 70-yard touchdown pass. Open the scoring. Fake doesn't work, and they're back on offense. Johnson fires far side. You can see the arm strength as Ryan Tannehill, who's the backup quarterback and a fine athlete, is out near midfield. What a start for Johnson.
Really a nice job play calling by offensive coordinator Nolan Cromwell here, using the play action, try to freeze the linebackers in the second level. And that's just a perfect throw by Jarrod Johnson.
It's now to Cyrus Gray. Had a crease, chose to cut it outside, and the flag is down in the holding zone. Gray and Kristen Michael. It's kind of a tailback tandem.
Personal foul, chop block, 74, offense, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
You got Lee Grimes, the senior tackle, costly penalty. But Gray and Kristen, although it's spelled like Christine, mom wanted a girl. Decided to stick with the name. Those guys both coming off 100-yard games against Baylor Saturday.
You know why I like their style against this Texas defense? Because they run past the arm tackles. They're quick. You don't require your offensive lineman to hold a big block up there for a long time.
The numbers suggest that A&M has to be able to run the ball tonight. They're 0-5 this year when they run for less than 200 yards in a game.
Yeah, but they're going against the #1 rush defense in the country.
Exactly.
Henley makes it 1st and 25. Johnson, a shovel pass inside to Gray. He's going nowhere. He'll lose another yard. I've already seen the costly 15-yard penalty, the kind of thing that the Aggies can't afford tonight. They're one of the worst teams in the country, penalty yards per game, and the 15-yarders created a big hole for Johnson here. Five receivers on 2nd and 25. They slip it out to Gray in the flat. Not much.
You know, Chris, but Nolan Cromwell, the OC, was telling us about this in the meeting today. Because, you know, it's okay to punt. We can't make mistakes, right? We can't have the turnovers. So sometimes you just got to be cautious.
Yeah, Craig, he talked about trying to avoid negative plays. And by that, he meant, hey, you know what? Sometimes it might be a running back getting a handoff and just fighting and squirming back to the line of scrimmage just to try to keep things manageable.
Well, a big touchdown pass on 3rd and long last time. They need 19 yards here. Texas rushing just 3. So Johnson heading for the sidelines, and they'll scamper out, and they'll send the punter out.
Jarrod Johnson is run out of bounds by number 38, Robert Moore.
You saw the type of athlete that Jarrod Johnson is right there. He made Sergio Kittle completely miss. What about the job Will Muschamp has done with this defense? Since he's been here, all 24 opponents they've played have been held under their season scoring averages. Unbelievable.
Coach in waiting. Whenever Mac Brown retires, Muschamp will take over. Texas has blocked 3 punts this year. They don't get to that one, and a fair catch for Shipley, who's brought a couple back to the end zone. Shipley and McCoy, childhood buddies, go back to work, but it's the Aggies with the early 7-zip lead.
Tomorrow.
It's not going to stick. Important thing is nobody got hurt. Let's be honest.
Amen.
Second possession for the Longhorns, and this is Newton bouncing it. Trey Newton banging off folks, and he gets a 1st down at the 45.
You know, Trey Newton we're going to talk about him tonight, and he's the beneficiary of a lot of good stuff. But, man, when you talk about that offensive line up there, Jesse, together, 126 career starts. It's the O-line that gives these backs the room. And
Mac Brown told us he thinks Trey Newton may be the most complete of the running backs, whether it's running the football or catching it out of the backfield.
Made the comparison to Emmitt Smith, didn't he? Yeah. He banged off a blocker there. He moved to a run, and this is Cody Johnson, the big 250-pounder. The sophomore knocked down for no gain.
Yeah. When I look at these programs from afar, I think it is the offensive line at UT that separates them. Real significant difference.
I think it's probably on both lines. I think if you look at offensive line and defensive line for Texas, that's the big difference between these two schools right now.
It's an experienced Texas O-line. 127 starts between them, but they haven't been a great run-blocking line. Good protection from McCoy, and an incompletion. The low throw, and Dan Buckner, the flex tight end, couldn't handle it. 3rd and 11.
Now this tight end position for the University of Texas has been an Achilles heel for them this year. They've had to overcome a lot of injuries at that position. Buckner's trying to step up and fill the hole.
An A&M defense that has really struggled against good passing offenses this season, trying to get off the field right here. Quasi Whitaker in the backfield to the right of McCoy. McCoy takes off and gets near the first down at the 46 of A&M. It'll be very close.
What can you say? What can you say about Colt McCoy tonight running the football so early? He's already converted 2 first downs running it, and they're going to hurry up.
It's 4th down. McCoy in a gamble early in the game, fighting forward. I believe they'll give him the first down at the 45. So up tempo for Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator. And I imagine Mac Brown was in on that decision as well.
No question about it. Doing anything you can right now, Craig, to try to take the 12th man out of this.
I think Max is telling you right now, as a team, we know we have a fight on our hands. We can't allow our team to punt it and give it back to them. Too much momentum there.
They didn't quiet him down much. Everybody on their feet here. McCoy taking a shot downfield, looking for Williams, and just overthrew him. He tried to beat Stephen Terrell, the true freshman corner. Football continues tomorrow, ESPN2, the backyard brawl, Pittsburgh and West Virginia in prime time. Can the Panthers get past this hurdle on the road, set up the showdown with Cincinnati? And Boise State against rival Nevada on the blue rug at 10 o'clock Eastern.
How about Nevada, the first team ever in the Football Bowl subdivision to have 3 players to rush for 1,000 yards?
Blue carpet has been 24 straight wins for Boise State. I think it's going to 25.
On 2nd and 10, Aggies being pressured, but a short completion. And fighting to break free is Williams. McQueen tackled the middle, set up 3rd and 5.
Early on, very impressed with the Aggies secondaries playing, Jesse. They're playing tight and doing a good job of tackling in the open.
Open space tackling has been critical tonight for this secondary, no question about it. Yet another big 3rd down here for Texas.
I believe they'll take 2 plays to get these 5 yards. Blitz again, short completion again, and breaking free is Buckner. See what a good athlete Buckner is. 6'4", big target, 12-yard gain.
2 coming off the corner there, Jesse. You know, you've got to make sure somebody accounts for one body receiver if you're going to bring somebody from them.
And the coaching staff earlier this year, Craig, they took Dan Buckner as a wide receiver, moved him to the flex tight end position. He's been lethal this year from that spot.
40 catches now.
Yeah.
And first down, McCoy fires far side. Shipley makes a man miss and then takes a huge shot after a 7-yard gain. Spencer Neely, defensive lineman, got up there and whacked him.
They're going to hurry up.
You know what this is? You know, you talk about Jordan Shipley in open space. That's like his punt return skills there. When he makes you miss that first guy.
Up tempo, quick handoff to Newton. He tries the left side. First down near the 16.
You know what's amazing about this Texas offense? They've been a machine all year. Coming into tonight, they've scored on 49% of their drives. They just march up and down the field at will.
They are moving into a sea of noise, but executing very well right now. Aggies showing pressure off the corner. They bring it. McCoy picks it up and scampers inside the 10. Tripped up as he crossed the sideline. Good read by the veteran quarterback. Saw the pressure to his right.
This is a design quarterback run. This is twice now that they've run that. And what you're going to see is the back that leads up in there and blocks on the linebacker. Design quarterback run all the way.
Colt McCoy has been so good in this area of the field. 12 touchdown passes, only 1 pick this year in the red zone.
You see Von Miller, number 40, blasting upfield, thinking sack, and they cut inside of him with the run. There's a whistle just before the snap and a false start. So for the first time, the crowd a factor here for the Texas offense.
False offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's David Snow, backup center.
Uncharacteristic, but Texas to make a mistake in the red zone. I mean, the 48 out of 51 down here. 35 of those are touchdowns. They usually get 6.
Tied for the 6th best red zone offense in the country.
Second and 8 now. Pressure again. McCoy fires toward the end zone. Touchdown as he hooks up one more time with Jordan Shipley. The Litnikoff finalist, one of the top receivers in the country, makes his 10th touchdown reception of the season as he beat Justin McQueen.
Well, McQueen had 2 guys there. It was him and the sideline, so he's trying to pinch him and push him out there. You see McQueen on the inside, Jesse. Too much room for Jordan Shipley and Colt McCoy.
And there's no defense for a perfect pass. Colt McCoy back shoulders his roommate Jordan Shipley, and that's just pitch and catch. These guys have been doing that their entire careers here at Texas.
Hunter Lawrence tacks on the extra point. Shipley and McCoy both have younger brothers who are perhaps even more talented than their big brothers, headed for Texas as the cycle continues here. McCoy to Shipley as even this game at 7. Welcome back. The Longhorns have tied it at 7 late in the first quarter. This is the 10th inning of 3 a.m. Students were finishing touches on it. 27 were injured. The A&M players at the time rushing over there the following morning to help unpile those logs. And the A&M family, which was already close, got even closer together that month. Pickoff return by Bradley Stevens, who breaks free out across the 30 with second effort. They have not had bonfire in that scope since then. That bitter.
Touched us all. Really, the whole state, regardless of affiliation, everybody was touched by it and really feel and always think about the Aggies.
A stretch play to Michael, who lowers his head and picks up about 4.
Number 30,
Earl Thomas met him there.
Head coach Mike Sherman of Texas A&M told us, with all his experience in the NFL as a GM and a head coach with Green Bay, he believes in order to control a game, you have to run the football.
second down and 6 for the Aggies.
There's a hand on Michael again. Dragged down at the 40. Keenan Robinson.
33 for Michael.
It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, following up on that, I remember coming here Mike Sherman's first spring, watching them work out, and the offensive line was really a glaring concern. Last year, 80-something yards a game. They're up to 190 this year, but not even close to where Coach Sherman wants to take them. He'll recruit big offensive linemen.
Empty backfield for Johnson on 3rd and 3. Texas rushing only 4. Johnson hangs in the pocket, delivers a strike for a first down. Fitting it into a tight space to Jamie McCoy, the tight end.
3rd down, a very important part of this football game. Watch the feet of Jarrod Johnson and his eyes. Jesse, he went right to where he knew the ball was going to go.
And he put it only where his wide receiver could catch it. I mean, that's as good coverage you can have on a tight end / wide receiver. And that's just another perfect throw from Jarrod Johnson.
There's a first down handoff to Michael. Nothing on the left side as we check back with Reese Davis for SportsCenter right now. Reese.
4-7 the final. Lions played again, lost again. Aaron Rodgers threw for 348 and 3 touchdowns. And look, Charles Woodson, he's going to go all Desmond on the people and strike the pose. SportsCenter coming up after the game. Stay current, ESPN News.
Desmond will never strike the pose. I mean, every week they try to get him to strike the pose. Game day, he won't do it.
Won't do it.
Saw Michael with the short game, sets up another 3rd and 3. Again, empty backfield. See if Texas brings pressure this time. Didn't blitz on the last 3rd down, and Johnson had plenty of time. Nope, they rush only 3. Drop into his zone, and is batted down at the line. Big Lamar Houston, the senior who's the key to the defense, Muschamp says, breaks it up.
He's really been playing well now in the last 3 games. Lamar Houston started his career as a defensive end. He moved to defensive tackle last year, doing a nice job seeing Jarrod Johnson wind up, and there goes the hand right up in there to bat it down.
Every number you look at on Lamar Houston says he plays and lives in the backfield. Tackles for losses, pressure, sacks, and big numbers. I mean, he's always on the other side.
And that's the first incompletion for Johnson after a 6-for-6 start. So here's Ryan Epperson, the true freshman punter. Shipley standing inside his 10. They angle it away from Shipley, take it very high. Takes a nice bounce for the Aggies, and McCoy will have to start inside his 10-yard line. Minute 10 to play in the first quarter. Like their chances of shutting down the Gators in that game that much.
Well, E.J. Manuel playing quarterback now for Florida State. He's going to have his work cut out from against probably one of the best defenses in college football.
Pressure off the edge and a short completion as Williams makes a man miss. He gets out near the 18-yard line. McQueen couldn't bring him down, and big Malcolm Williams showing his talent.
Beauty of a quarterback who's seasoned and understands defense. The pressure from the right side. Where did he go, Jesse? Went to the left.
They take it to Newton. McCoy keeps it. And Colt Mccoy has a crease. We thought we'd see a lot more design runs from the Horns tonight than we've seen in the last few games.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Greg Davis told us they figured out 10 to 13 designed runs for Colt Mccoy. Colt McCoy at this point already has 6 carries, though. I mean, he's running it a lot, Craig.
But I really feel like that's what makes Texas's offense so good. When you've got Colt McCoy running, I think he's faster than he's been. He's an excellent vision guy. He knows how to do it, and it adds that element that you can't defend.
He's already run for 4 first downs. He's throwing on first down, far side at Shipley again as the Horns continue to work underneath against Terrence Frederick.
And Colt McCoy running, he did it more last year. 561 yards last year, which was the most in 20 years aside from Vince Young. Not so much this season.
You know what, Chris? I think that's how you have fun as a football player. Remember early in the year he wasn't having the fun? I think when you run, it creates fun for you.
And he's had his fun moments here in the first quarter, which expires. But the Aggies have had their moments, too. Big touchdown pass from Jarrod Johnson just a minute 16 into this game. Horns on the move when we come back for quarter number 2. In the first quarter, 119 yards total offense for Colt McCoy. And our Enterprise Rent-A-Car drive recap shows a touchdown drive. Buckner with that drop there, but then McCoy got going. Shipley already has 5 catches. That was the big catch right there to Buckner. And then the touchdown connection. Shipley extending his Texas record for receiving yards in a season.
Got your back, Dags.
Devo's guys began this drive at their 9-yard line. And as we start the second quarter, faces 2nd and 3 at the 34. This is Newton. Cuts it back, takes a hit, no gain. Maybe a yard. Matt Moss comes from El Cajon, California. Watched the Holiday Bowl a few years ago. Didn't know anything about A&M. Got caught up in the spirit of the fans and decided this might be a place to play my college football.
Coaches told us he may be the most improved player in that entire defense.
Aggie defense looking for a stop here on 3rd and 2. Horns just 1 of 3 on 3rd down. McCoy keeps it again. And Colt McCoy racing up the middle of the field. Gone. "65 yards. And number 12 is making a Heisman statement here tonight at Kyle Field in the early going.
It is so important to maintain lane responsibility and integrity. When you're going against Colt McCoy running the ball, you'll see right here, watch whenever they get the ball to the line of scrimmage, they're spread out. They're not there. There's nobody in there. You know, A&M's got to become responsible for Colt McCoy.
You live by the blitz, and you'll die by the blitz.
Lawrence makes it 14-7, and McCoy 1 and 2 again against the Aggies in his career. The only conference rivalry he's got a losing record against is dialed in tonight. Very quickly, Texas on top by a touchdown. A blocked punt to win here in Kyle Field. Went on to beat SC, and a lot of preseason comparisons to that 05 team made by Mack Brown, who admitted to us this week that was a mistake. He was trying to give this team confidence. There were some comparisons that were valid, but it put too much pressure on him to start the season. Here's the kickoff, and it's Swope inside his 10. He's got the corner and out across the 30 as a couple of flags come in. Swope signaling face mask at the end of the return, but another flag was thrown earlier. There's going to be 2 penalties here. Curtis Brown, I believe, got Swope's face mask later in the run. There's a flag at the 20-yard line. Max said that his team has only started to relax and play better since the Oklahoma game.
There were 2 fouls on the play. During the kick, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 3. During the return, illegal block the back, receiving team, number 39. Those penalties will offset. We will re-kick.
You know, Mac not afraid to admit when he does make a mistake because he's so good at pushing the buttons in his team usually. Here's the penalty again. It'll offset, and they'll just re-kick it.
Yeah, pretty obvious one there.
There's your illegal block, number 39.
Well, Chris, going back to what you said about Coach Brown, I mean, the pressure here at Texas, with the weight of the state of Texas on top of you, it can be pretty big. I mean, imagine last year this team goes 12-1. They win the Fiesta Bowl, and for a lot of people, that's still not enough. And that's unbelievable.
Look how Brown has dominated the state of Texas here. Has a couple losses here in that ledger. Aaron, what do you have?
Well, Chris, just to add on what you guys were talking about, when Colt McCoy went to Mac Brown and said, look, I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy this season. Mac Brown said he was guilty of the same thing with the pressure. He said, we're living the same lives here. If we can't enjoy it, why are we doing it?
It's an important reminder. So Swope again on the return has a little crease and gets out. At the same place he was on the last return, this time no flags.
Ryan Swope, a former running back, showing you kind of that vision right there.
But the speed, you know what? That's the one thing. We were watching on film, and we were wondering whether or not the Aggies could play foot speed-wise with the Longhorns. I think they've answered tonight that they've got far better speed on the field than they do on the film room.
That's a program that's clearly improving. You said it earlier, Craig. They got to get better offensive and defensive lines to win championships, not just spring an upset here and there. Sherman was hired to win championships, conference and national. This is Michael. They continue to test the middle of that Texas defensive line without much success. Tough to move Houston out.
Very, very tough. I'm very interested to see how Jarrod Johnson responds to this situation now. You had the lead early, 14 straight points by Texas. You cannot try to be a hero against this Texas defense.
Johnson looking for Michael in the flat. Makes a man miss, and Christian Michael circling back. Takes a shot near the first down marker at the 44 by Sergio Kindle.
To kind of answer what your comment and statement was, according to Mike Sherman and Nolan Cromwell, the offensive coordinator, the ability to read the defense and make the right calls on the field is why I think Jarrod Johnson will answer the call on this thing.
That throw right there, Craig, really scared me. See how lazy his feet got on that throw? He's got to guard against that.
3rd and short. Aggies want to throw it. Johnson. He's trapped and loses the ball. Now they say no fumble. No fumble. But a sack to end this Aggie drive.
And this goes back to what I was just talking about. Jarrod Johnson, he wants to throw the football downfield and make plays, but you have to stay within the system against this great defense.
We're going to show you the system here. You know, I'm sitting up here, and I just talked about it. Now, here you're going to have somebody goes to the flat. There's your first down. Throw the ball underneath, move the chains. Fullback is there. Let it go now. Get him the football.
Yeah, any hesitation when Sergio Kindle is in the neighborhood, you got problems. So Kindle's 4th sack. Epperson on the punt. You see the knee down before the ball was ripped out. Barnes came after it and got close to a block. Low kick that Shipley lets go as the Horns came close to getting one for the 4th time this season.
41 yards on the play.
Dwayne Aquina, who coaches the pump block, thought there might be an opportunity for Epperson tonight, and it was that close.
It's very nice. Met a lot of nice Aggie and Longhorn fans.
McCoy backpedaling against the pressure, flips it short, and very nearly intercepted as Matt Moss had it in his hands. That's the first time that the pressure's really affected a throw by McCoy. Trent Hunter, the safety blitz.
And Colt kept backpedaling, trying to buy time on this thing, but the Aggies dialing up a first down blitz, as you call out there, Chris. Woo-hoo. Inches, the game of inches, isn't it?
This defense has to blitz on running situations. They got to do a better job finding Colt McCoy, finding the football.
That could have been a game-changing play by Moss. 2nd and 10. They pick up the blitz and a fire across the middle of the field. Breaking free for a big gain is Williams into Aggie territory. Very nearly a touchdown. They got 28 yards.
How many times tonight have we seen Texas receivers isolated on islands with these inexperienced corners?
And nobody in the middle of the field, Jesse. The free safety had come up to the other side. Bingo.
Dustin Harris just got Williams' shoelace to save a touchdown. This is Newton, right side, following blockers and hammering ahead for a nice gain before Michael Hodges stops him. Aaron?
Chris, when Texas A&M defense came over to the sideline after Colt McCoy ran for that touchdown, defensive coordinator Joe Kynes, who we all saw was a very excitable man yesterday, came over and had a few words for linebacker Kyle Mangan. He told him, "You are not above coaching. You have to get to Colt McCoy." And Mangan said in so many words, "I know, I messed up. I screwed up that play." Kynes said again, "Get to McCoy."
Aaron, they don't get to McCoy this time, but it's incomplete. He tried to find Shipley. Kynes knows that the second quarter has been unkind to the Aggies. In their big blowout losses, guys, they've had problems in this quarter. Arkansas scored 23, Kansas State 21, Oklahoma 28 in the second quarter.
The fans know that. You see them on their feet right now. This A&M team needs the fans to show up big, especially in this quarter.
Third and 4. Incomplete. Tried to get it across the middle to Trey Newton. Couldn't hold it. Michael Hodges was defending.
Joe Kynes has been around a lot of football, and he now has a lot of respect for Colt McCoy and not blitzing. So you just could see there, only 4 came, 7 dropped, and I think the crowd noise impacted the receiver that time.
I don't think I bring pressure right here either, Craig. The pressure has not yet gotten to Colt McCoy. Why dial it up right now on 4th down?
No pooch punt attempt. Nope. Actually dropping back is McCoy. He's a pretty good punter. Knocks it down there. So a little wrinkle. And McCoy even does that well as the ball rolls dead at the 8-yard line. So the Aggie defense makes a stand. They go back on offense down 7. So here at Kyle Field, early second quarter, Jarrod Johnson and the Aggies take over at their 8. Got to be careful here. Defense did their job. Offense trying to improve field position at the very least. And Johnson keeps it. And he has a crease, runs through a tackle, and has a first down at the 22. Their quarterback can run well, too.
See that athleticism from Jarrod Johnson for a big guy, 6'5", over 240 pounds. His ability to get outside once he sees Earl Thomas bite inside.
Absolutely. That's that quarterback zone read. How many times have we seen it work against over-aggressive defenses?
The first down handoff. Michael runs hard, lowers his pads, and collides with McElroy after about 7 yards. Brees?
Chris, time for...
Good news for Hawk. We'll see how the Buffs respond against their rivals. Nebraska, of course, will meet Texas a week from Saturday in Dallas. Big 12 championship game. So 3rd and 1 for the Aggies. Michael is the tailback. He's got it. He was hit behind the line, but fights for a first down.
You see the passion by the true freshman, Kristen Michael. He realizes how big this game is. Playing a rival. He grew up around here.
Short yardage and goal line. A little bit of a difference here. Michael got maybe a little more power, run behind the pad level for this Aggie offense. And that's what you have to do. You have to break a tackle for a short yardage first down.
Cyrus Gray replaces Michael in the game. And Johnson taking a shot downfield. He's got Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, the sophomore who's the backup quarterback to Johnson, got deep up the middle on Keenan Robinson, the linebacker.
And you know, watch what happens here. Here he is, and this linebacker's going to come over, Jesse. That's just not sound defense. And Jarrod Johnson found the weakness.
Well, they're asking Keenan Robinson to wall the inside post player. There's nothing wrong with that because it requires a perfect throw. But again, Jarrod Johnson delivers exactly that.
36 yards. Johnson throwing again on first down. Pulls it down. Cuts inside. And Johnson just tripped up as he was pointed toward the end zone by Sam Acho. Very close to a even bigger run.
Jarrod Johnson playing within himself right now. Very impressive. Not trying to force the football. One of the things he's done much better this year, decision making. He tucks it and runs.
Got 8 yards. High formation, handout to Michael. First down. Banging inside the Texas 15. So the #1 rushing defense in the country coming in. Push backward.
High formation says, I'm coming at you downhill. I don't care if you're #1 in the country in rush defense. I'm just going to bring my manhood right at you and test you.
When was the last time you saw this D-line getting blown off the ball? They were only giving up 1.7 yards a carry coming into tonight.
Johnson fires, middle, touchdown! Jeff Fuller. His second tonight. That's a pretty good answering drive by the Aggies. Terrible field position to start, and Johnson takes him right down the field. Well, more kissing. Come on. Come on, we missed the first one.
He's looking for it.
Where is it?
He's looking for one. He's got 2 dates.
Well, life is good. Little hesitation. Randy Bullock able to knock it through. There we go. On the cheek. Oh, Hughes secondary again, Craig.
Yeah, it's really obvious here what's going on. You've got 2 receivers. You got 3 back here, plus a linebacker from the inside. Fuller does not get pressed. No bump, no hands on him. A clean release. No linebacker drop.
The windows cannot be that big in red zone defense, but give Jarrod Johnson credit. He says, look, you want to give that to me? I will take that all night long.
92-yard touchdown drive in 8 plays. This is Marquise Goodwin. And a true freshman wide receiver somersaults to the 30, flags down. Put Goodwin back as a kick returner, try to get a spark. He's got excellent speed.
Holding during the return, number 16. 10-yard penalty for the foul. First down.
First major penalty for the Horns. It'll back him up with poor field position. The Dick's Sporting at NIT season tip-off concludes Friday on ESPN. Number 13, Connecticut. Number 7, Duke in the championship game. Dick's Sporting at NIT season tip-off as part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's.
Schools are 4-4 against each other all time. UConn's won the last 4 in a row.
Aggie hoop team, by the way, a big win today over a ranked Clemson team in a preseason tournament. These folks are all thinking about chances at shocking Texas tonight. And McCoy's got to be careful here. Ball at the 12-yard line after the penalty. Trey Newton. It's been a running game that struggled to do much with the running backs. McCoy has a career high, 111 yards rushing, but the backs haven't gotten going.
Yeah, but you know what? On that play there, that zone read, you're going to make sure defensively you stay at home backside and you force McCoy to hand it off, and don't let McCoy run it.
McCoy in the pocket, takes a shot downfield. Williams has it inside Aggie territory. A beautiful throw as they beat McQueen. Monster night for Williams so far.
Coming into this game, the A&M defense gave up 19 completions of over 30 yards. Craig, we pointed to this already. They're isolating Williams against these corners. He's just running by them all night.
Only 3 rushers, 5 in the middle of the field, 3 deep. You can't let someone get behind you. Turn your hips and get your fanny back.
45-yard gain to the Aggies' 41. Half-hearted fake to Newton. McCoy fires far side. Another completion. Spinning away is James Kirkendall. His second catch tonight.
One thing Texas's offense has done so well this year is respond when other teams score. 26 times when the other team would score this year, Texas will come back 16 of them, score right away.
And there's Frederick. You better get a shoe on, young man. He gets to the sidelines as they run a DB in to replace him. McCoy still got it. Oh, almost intercepted. He tried to throw it short, and Von Miller, normally a pass rusher, dropped in coverage, and he had his hands on the ball.
Have you ever seen a player lose both shoes on one play? I've never. It looked like, what was going on? You're talking about coming out of your cut.
Oh, man, that was something. So Miller very nearly a chance at an interception, and now Newton on second down, barreling into the secondary, and Trey Newton for a first and goal.
Number 23, Trey Newton.
This football team is very resilient. Other teams score, and they come right back on the field as an offense. They march right down the field.
Watch, Jesse. They're so concerned with Colt McCoy. 2 guys run right by him. They're tackling Colt McCoy, and they forgot that there's a running back. You have to be disciplined, responsible for your guy. You take your guy. The other guy will get his.
Yeah, Newton ran through the arm tackle of Miller for 21 yards. McCoy rolling left. Cuts back, and he'll be dropped. That's the nation's sack leader. Von Miller was in there. It's been a real weakness for A&M. Miller now has as many sacks this year as the entire Aggie defense had last year.
He was playing linebacker. They turned him into what they call the jack position. They're allowing him to just line up and just get after the pass rusher. You see the speed he has on the edge.
Being slowed down a little bit, though, with the quarterback zone read. He's got to be more mindful of the angles to McCoy.
5 receivers. Aggies late in lining up on the left side, and a strike down the middle. Touchdown, Jordan Shipley, his second tonight. 14 yards. Opponents know it's coming. Every week it's the same thing. You know it all starts with Shipley. They just can't stop him.
Jesse, this kind of looked like you today in flag football. 2 rushers, 9 dropped into coverage, and somehow thread the needle through 9. Are you kidding me?
Colt McCoy's not fooled. They show a pressure look. They drop back into zone. No big deal. He just goes through his progression and finds Shipley again.
And McCoy, even after the sack, still has 106 yards rushing. 14 of 21, a $172, and a pair of touchdowns to his childhood buddy.
You're going to have 9. Now, you're in the red zone, and only 2 are rushing. See that? And you look at the 9. How in the world do you get a hole to throw through?
How about the anticipation on that throw as well? The accuracy that Colt McCoy has demonstrated all season long, all career long. He's just been absolutely remarkable. This is the best link-up. Jordan Shipley from Colt McCoy, 218 times coming in tonight, most in Texas history.
And 6 more tonight.
You can't stop him.
Well, the fact that Colt McCoy is the winningest quarterback in the history of college football, and the guy has completed 71% of his passes career. You talk about careers, this has been an outstanding young man for the University of Texas.
But he's dialed in tonight, isn't he, guys?
Oh, boy.
I mean, you see it in his eyes.
And I've known him for a long time. And when I went down to see him before the game, he looked at me, and he looked right through me and shook my hand and hugged me, but he was focused and laser intense.
You see Mac Brown try to congratulate him. McCoy barely looked up at his coach. A lot more work to do. He's not exactly basking in the glow of a great start. So Texas back on top by a touchdown. This is a deep kickoff that Swope will take at the goal line. Ryan Swope worked in the corner and shoved out at the 32. Earl Thomas American on the special teams. Reese, back to you. Now, Reese, thanks. Johnson fakes it to Gray, keeps it, pitches into the crease there, and has a man open. It's Iwachuku. Easy Iwachuku.
I'll say this, for as dialed in as Colt Mccoy is tonight, Jarrod Johnson has matched him throw for throw.
And how about a true freshman, Iwachuku, stepping up, national TV, the first Texas A&M game he's played, runs a good route.
It's been a good night for the A&M receivers so far, hasn't it? Very young core. Nothing there as Jamie McCoy, the fullback / tight end, dropped for a loss.
It's funny what you say, Craig, about them being on TV. I mean, the numbers say this year, 5 times Texas A&M has been on television. They've lost all 5 times this year, but it's not getting to them. These rivalry games, they step up.
Mike Sherman said, yeah, but we haven't been on ESPN.
That's right.
Not here since '93. Wow. Believe that?
Yeah.
Handoff on 2nd and 11. Mccoy drops Gray after a short gain. They continue to try to keep Texas honest by running the ball, but all the success has been throwing it.
Right. They have to, though. They have to make sure Texas appreciates and respects the ability of some of these running backs. They haven't hit a home run yet, but I'd argue they have chipped away a little bit, much more than I thought they could tonight.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 7. Low snap. Pressure off the edge. Johnson spins away. Then it gets dropped. Got away from the first man, but Sam Acho eventually got him.
Acho comes from the sideline. I mean, this is a long ways out there from the blitzing position, but it all starts because of a bad snap. You know, it just didn't get there. Kevin Matthews' ball was down low and his eyes came off.
That's what I was talking about earlier, guys. Jarrod Johnson, that play is dead. You have to throw the football away. You see he was trying to reverse backfield again, and you're just taking an unnecessary loss that this team understood they cannot afford tonight.
8th sack of the year for Acho. And Epperson with a short punt, very short punt. In traffic, the ball bounces, and now a scrum. Shipley came up. He wasn't able to get his blockers away from the ball, and the Aggies have it. So the first mistake of the night for Texas.
And coming from one of the best players in America, Jordan Shipley usually does not make mistakes, comes up, feels the traffic and the pressure around him. Just, well, actually, it's not even Jordan Shipley. The ball hits his teammate that's on the ground.
It's like he wanted to fair catch this ball. He's got a teammate laying on the ground, does not know where he is. I don't really know if Jordan even could have made that catch.
So the Aggies take over at the 36, and Johnson running on 1st down, just throws it away. It's a 25-yard punt. Short but effective.
Now A&M in a great situation. 2.5 minutes left in the half. Down by 7. But you have an opportunity to put some more points on the board right now.
But I get that sense that front 4 of Texas D-line is starting to crank it up. I'm seeing them in the backfield a lot more now.
2nd down handoff. Bit of Anthony Lewis, by the way, with a fumble recovery for A&M. But now it's 3rd and long.
You know, what's so tough about this Texas team to run about, the defensive line, when you look at these names, Sergio Kindle, Lamar Houston, Keyston Randall, Sam Acho, that might be at least 3 guys that are going to be playing on Sunday.
Johnson again. Pressured. Fires complete. Cutting back inside is Cyrus Gray. 1st down inside the 20.
Jarrod Johnson's feeling the pressure. He's going to be in the pocket. There's real no plausible reason for him to break, but he's respecting that defensive line, and he gets out. And how about the throw?
And this is his ability to create on the run. That is such a tough throw for a quarterback. Rolling to your left with the receiver coming to your right.
Empty backfield on 1st down. Johnson fires underneath. And a short completion inside the 15 to Fuller.
See those feet, Jesse, how they're moving around back there, trying to go with his eyes, and that's what Nolan Cromwell said he was working on with him.
Get the feeling Texas A&M wants to score here, but they do not want to give the football back to Texas.
Johnson looking left, fires, end zone. Touchdown. The veteran of this receiving corps, Howard Morrow. And the Aggies cash in the misplayed punt. You are seeing a really good quarterback showcase tonight. You know all about McCoy. The nation getting a good look at Jarrod Johnson tonight. 13 for 15, a $1.99 and 3 touchdowns. That's
in football. Howard Morrow, number 5. This is unbelievable. Watch how Morrow from the inside slot. He's going to get pressure here and here, but he's going to fight through it and come open late, and Johnson stayed with him.
It's great patience by Johnson. He knows there's the window over the middle of the football
that was open.
Field. He needs to wait for Morrow to clear it. But again, putting this ball only where his guy can get it. And Morrow doing a great job high pointing the football, strong hands. Jarrod Johnson feeling it right now.
Morrow's been laboring with a high ankle the last few weeks. His 3rd touchdown of the season. And Jarrod Johnson, bright hopes for the Aggies' future. He's got another year here with a bunch of young receivers. They lose Morrow, but the rest of the crew is back.
Jarrod Johnson today became the first Texas A&M quarterback to ever throw for 3,000 yards in a season. That's amazing.
Already had the single season record coming into this game. So minute 11 before halftime for McCoy to work with. And this is Goodwin. Marquise Goodwin. He's a world-class track athlete. Long jumper, sprinter. Gets around the corner to the 36. Well, Saturday.
Notre Dame's got a really difficult situation. They need to make a move, but they don't want to fork out 15, 18 million bucks. And who's the guaranteed coach that you can bring in there?
First down, McCoy flips it short. And a completion to Buckner. It's about 7 yards. Texas all 3 timeouts as we move inside of a minute before halftime.
61% of Texas's scoring drives this year took 3 minutes or less. With all 3 timeouts right now, there's a lot of time to score for this offense.
McCoy will scramble for a first down. Takes a shot as he crosses midfield. Kyle Mangum got him. Runs 36 seconds. Now Texas still with those 3 timeouts and not taking one.
You got 3 of them over there.
You can't carry them over, and now they'll spend one.
And that cost them 6 seconds right there.
Well, we saw last weekend Les Miles and LSU. There was a timeout that was not called. Cost that team 17 seconds and probably a chance to at least win that football game. Clock management so critical towards the outcomes of games.
I think, guys, we watch so much football. It's really, as soon as you know you're going to start using them, save the clock. Don't let it work against you. You just have to have that strategy and philosophy. Call it now.
I was surprised he didn't take a timeout after that first completion, which was short of a first down. And you see Johnson trying to build on just a monster first half. Really a coming out party.
And really doing a great job seeing the field. He looks poised. He's taking advantage of the mistakes of the Texas defense. And he's not just doing it with his arm. He's doing it with his legs as well.
And the Aggie secondary, I know that there's been a lot of yards put up on them so far, but we expected that. They've held up just enough to get Johnson the ball back.
So Texas with 30 seconds and 2 timeouts. The first down at midfield. McCoy takes a shot. Taking a shot out of bounds. Who else? Jordan Shipley with his 7th catch of the first half. This for 21 yards.
And, you know, as a receiver, when you run that route, and Shipley's done it now over 200 times with Colt Mccoy, he knows for a fact where the spot is and where the ball's coming.
It's a great route to run because not only do you get a big chunk of yards, you also stop the clock temporarily.
Already in field goal range for Hunter Lawrence, but McCoy, he's thinking end zone, and he takes off and scampers out at the 20 with 18 seconds to play. Michael Hodges forced him out.
Isn't it amazing? how much yardage this Texas offense has gained so quickly. We just blinked a second ago. This drive started. They were way back in their own end.
I want to give a shout out right now to the left tackle at Texas, Adam Ulatowski. What an outstanding job he's doing over there right now with Von Miller. That dude is running hard and fast. Ulatowski sticking with him.
Yeah, he's the old man, 24 years old. Stud left tackle. 2nd and 3. McCoy fires middle, low throw, and a sliding catch at the 5-yard line. Shipley defenseless against Jordan Shipley. It's 1st and goal. 12 seconds to go, and Texas will spend their 2nd timeout.
You got to watch Jordan Shipley run this route, the way he sets it up. It's unbelievable. Only a veteran. You'll see him at the top of your screen. You see him kind of peek left. All the defenders start looking that way. Sets himself up to run the in route. That's just a veteran move right there by a great wide receiver.
Most receivers really don't take the time to do that. And McCoy can't see right there whether it was a completion. Looks good there. I don't know. Ball may have shuffled just a little bit.
The ball did hit the ground, but did he have it in his control when it bounced off the grass?
But it wiggled just a little bit when he hit the ground. Of course, it has to be indisputable video evidence. It's not even reviewed yet. It's technically.
It's a nice low throw, protecting his wide receiver. It appears there that maybe the grass had helped.
Yeah.
There's the announcement. I thought we were going to hear a review. They decide not to. So Texas 1st and goal. Still a timeout.
Again, this is where Colt McCoy has played his best football this season. In the red zone, he's been lights out.
McCoy avoids the rush. Out of bounds. Working back near the pylon was Shipley.
Just
8 seconds now.
Yeah, just kept working. Shipley kept working, and McCoy trying to give him time to get open. You see the buying of the time here. Shipley knows so well where that sideline is.
The throw takes him outside. Now with 8 seconds left, there's time for one more play. But if you're McCoy, you cannot scramble around and make this a long play. If you have it, throw it. If not, throw it away, kick a field goal.
Aggies showing pressure. McCoy fires, end zone. Touchdown, James Kirkendall. With 4 seconds before halftime. What an answer to the Aggies' answer. You said, Craig, A&M wants to score, but don't leave Colt time. Left them a little bit too much time.
Justin McQueen, now this is the 2nd time he's used the sideline as his friend. Look at the back shoulder throw. These Texas wide receivers and McCoy just are dialed in together.
That's the 2nd time we've seen a back shoulder throw for a touchdown from Colt McCoy. It's just big time. And again, you see the explosiveness of that offense.
Mike Sherman's team had momentum, but another 4-second quarter for the A&M defense. The Horns have scored 21 in the 2nd. You are seeing as good a quarterback duel in a big game as we've seen all season long. McCoy 18 of 26, a $119 rushing, and Johnson matching him.
But it's what makes these in-state rivalry games so special. Guys dial in. Craig, you said you saw Colt McCoy before the game. Jarrod Johnson warming up was automatic. I mean, these guys want it, and they want it bad.
There's just a different level of intensity that takes place. You know, I mentioned in the open about your mom and your dad and your grandparents. Everybody talks about this game in the state of Texas and the importance of it. And that's why, in a rivalry game like this at Kyle Field, the Aggies believe that they've got a chance.
Not bad for a short week, huh? Both these teams played on Saturday. Excellent offensive execution. You know, Will Muschamp will not be that thrilled with his defense. The Aggies gaining 245 yards. That's more than Texas gives up in a game on average.
Very porous tonight.
Here's the low kick. This will be the final play of the first half. Whoa, spinning free, but stumbling down at the 36-yard line. So the Aggies hanging in there as teams like TCU dare to dream about the upset, but McCoy marches Texas down the field, and it's the Horns with a 28-21 halftime lead. They'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter as Aaron visits with Mac Brown.
Well, Mac, what a quarterback showcase. You know, your guy off to a monster first half. What's been key for Colt?
Well, his confidence. He's played this way in the last 5 weeks, and I think we'll see him finish the season this way. And we're fortunate their guys playing lights out, too. What a game. What a great game.
Johnson is playing lights out, Mac. What adjustment does your defense need to make, kind of cool him off in the second half?
Well, we've got to get more pressure on him. We're not getting enough pressure, and we're not playing very well on defense. We're not playing the ball very well. We had 2 on the last guy, and he made a great play. So we get the ball to start the second half. It's key to get some points there, and we've got to slow their guy down and keep our guy hot.
Mac, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Chris.
Aaron, he did not expect it to be all that easy. Horns up by a touchdown. Reese, Mark, and Lou back in the studio for the IBM halftime report.